Hi everyone. Hello, good afternoon everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. I'm Jessie Janati, the Regional Marketing Manager from Indonesia, and I'm specializing in UK and Europe recruitment. So today we have a very special speaker here, Michelle from UCAM, and this is actually the first time I host study in Spain. Yeah. Um, and today we have Southeast Asia agents with us. Later on, Michelle will be presenting her slide from UCAM, and we can continue to Q&A session after that. Okay, without further ado, over to you, Michelle.
All right. Thank you so much, Jazzy. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you. And thank you for joining us this afternoon. So I'm Michelle, the representative of UCAM, the Catholic University of Murcia, which is based in Murcia, Spain. So before I start further in my presentation, I'm just going to share a little video as we wait for more participants to come in so you can get an idea on how UCAM and Murcia looks like.
Every morning you wake up not knowing what kind of choices you're going to make during the day. What are you going to eat for breakfast? What purposes are you going to fulfill? But without a doubt, there are certain questions that come to you as great decisions that will define you forever. Choosing a university to become what you want it to be is one of the most important decisions you ever make. Getting out of your comfort zone will make you grow as a person and improve yourself daily. It will help you to meet new friends from different countries, to share your experiences, and above all, to continue discovering yourself. This is why thousands of students from all over the world come every year to study at our university, placed in the beautiful city of Murcia. Our campus is located in the historical monastery of Los Heramos, built and founded in the 17th century. It is one of the most cosmopolitan campuses currently operating in Spain, as well as one of the European universities with the best teaching quality. UCAM has at its disposal several facilities with the greatest innovations concerning technology and science, so you can develop your maximum potential. Murcia, which is located in the southeast, is one of the Spanish cities with the highest number of sunny days per year. Take the next step and start leading your future at UCAM.
All right. So I hope that gave you a quick glimpse on how Murcia and UCAM looks like. Now, I know Spain may be a relatively new country for you to explore in terms of a study destination. So before talking about the university itself, I'd like to share with you a little bit about Spain. So these are some facts that we may already know in terms of the world rankings. So Spain is one of the top in terms of the economy, ranked 13th in the world and just 5th in EU. One of the largest exporters at the rank of 18. Automotive products is 9th in the world and just the 2nd in Europe. Cultural influence, you're ranked the 3rd. And of course, if you love football, you know that Spain is ranked number 1 in the UEFA European Football Championships. What people, or most people in Asia don't know is the history of universities. Spain has had a university system dating back 800 years ago. So some of the world's oldest universities are either located in Spain or they were founded by Spanish scholars. The oldest in Asia would be University of Santo Tomas, which is in the Philippines, and the Americas would be University of Santo Domingo. These were all founded by the Spanish religious orders. Now, typically, when we think about Spain, we think about tourism. It's rightfully so, because let's say before COVID, we were ranked the third country in the world in terms of the number of tourists. And after COVID, we are actually now the second most visited country in the world. So if you haven't been to Spain, you should put it in your bucket list. There's just so many things to do, see, and discover here. And that's never a dull moment, especially for students. In terms of educational destination, it has been consistently one of the preferred educational destinations for international students, if you disregard the English-speaking countries, of course. If you're familiar with Erasmus, something like exchange program with Europe, Spain is always ranked the top for students' choice. Now, currently, there are over 90 universities in Spain, divided into public and private institutions. Typically, to enter public institutions, students will need to sit for an entrance test, which would be in Spanish. That's especially applicable for a bachelor's degree. There are some master's degrees that are taught in English, and sometimes an entrance test may not be necessary in the master's level. However, for private universities, the entrance test is not necessary. It really depends on the university itself, and there are more English taught programs offered. So why study in Spain? Here are 5 reasons to think about. I'll break it down one by one. So one of which is sunny climate and joy to Europe. I've interviewed many students who have thought about studying in Spain, and one of the reasons was actually the weather. They want to go to some place that is sunny, easy to go out to have some activities, travel, or even have sports. So Spain would be a good candidate in this area because we have up to 350 sunny days a year. Talking about travel, Spain is part of a Schengen visa country. So while students study here in Spain, they could have a Europe tour. So simple for the student to be in 2 or even up to 3 countries in a day. Next would be P, which is for prestigious universities and educational excellence. As I've shared before, we have some of the oldest universities, the oldest here being University of Salamanca, which is back in 1218. Now, UCAM is not an old university. In fact, we are one of the top 500 young universities in the world, but we are ranked quite highly in the quality of education, and we have the full 5 stars in the QS stars rating system. Now, next is A. This is, I would say, one of the most important factor when it comes to studying abroad, the cost of living and tuition. Now, compared to many other common study destinations that we know of, for example, the US, Australia, UK, Canada, or even New Zealand, Spain has a lower average annual tuition fees. The living cost here is also rather reasonable. Let's look at the cost of living index. If an item costs $100 in the US, the same item would probably cost $80 in Spain. So this makes it an economically viable option for international students. Next would be I, which stands for the immersive cultural experience and language learning. So we are ranked the 3rd in the world for cultural influence. There's so many things culturally that the students can experience here in Spain. And one thing to note of is that they can pick up Spanish much easier than the home country. Spanish is the 2nd most spoken native language in the world, and it is the official language in 21 countries. This would help them open up more connections around the world. And especially if they're into business, it's easier for them to deal with, for example, Latin American countries. Last but not least, talking about N, which stands for networking and job opportunities. Now, Spain has been attracting students from all over the world, creating a really diverse and global community. For us at UCAM, although we are in a smaller city called Murcia, we have students from at least 135 countries. Here is a great place for students to build their network. And if you're talking about jobs, while studying with us in an official program, they can work part-time up to 30 hours a week. Additionally, after graduation, they could apply for something called a job search visa. This would allow them to stay up to 24 months to find a job. Within these 24 months, they have to either find a job or start their own business to stay on further. Now, since Spain is in the Schengen visa country, we have also experienced seeing alumni being spread across Europe because they found jobs in other countries, for example, Germany, Italy, France, Switzerland, etc. So in a way, students are not exactly confined to just one country to find jobs. One more thing to highlight here is that dependents, when we talk about visa, students are able to bring their dependents, meaning their spouse and kids along. They just need to have additional show money. But the thing is, the dependents will not be able to work while they are being a dependent of the student. They could find for work though. Additional point for Filipinos is that after they stay on 2 years while working, it is possible for them to apply for a citizenship. Right, let's zoom out a little. This is the map of Spain. Okay, of course, the capital here is Madrid. We also know Barcelona, Valencia. Thanks to football, these cities are rather popular. But as you see, there are many other cities for students to discover. And I would like to bring your attention to the region of Murcia, which is the southeastern part of Spain. This is the seventh largest city and one of the youngest cities because we are known as a student city. So it's way more affordable as compared to bigger cities. We're known as the city of monuments and history and still full of entertainment suitable for students. Here, they can experience various festivals for their immersive cultural experience. People come to this region for the beautiful nature surrounding the cities as well, which is perfect for outdoor activities. And one thing to highlight is that Murcia is known as the top 3 safest cities in Spain. Affordable living here refers to about 600 to 800 euros a month. Of course, here you get to see UCAM, the Catholic University of Murcia. We're known as a private Catholic university. We were established back in 1996, so less than 50 years old. That makes us a young university. We have various European titles to choose from the level of bachelor's all the way up to PhD. Students can choose to study in English top programs or Spanish top programs. And we are pretty big on personalization. Each of our students will have a personalized tutor, a personal tutor, for personalized attention. Basically, this is an arrangement to ensure the student is able to progress within their studies. So just to highlight why studying at UCAM is as easy as ABCs. So A, affordability. So here is a really affordable destination with a global network. All in about 20,000 US dollars a year, students can get a high quality, affordable education here. B is the backdoor to Europe. As I shared before, Students have access to the Ascension countries, which is 27 countries, for travel or even job search opportunities. And after graduation from an official program, they can apply for the job search visa that gives them a stay back option of up to 24 months. And C, being career ready. Be it our bachelor's or master's program, we do have internships embedded into the curriculum. Most of it are mandatory, a few are optional, but usually students will opt for internship experience. We have a dedicated department to link students for the job placements for internships. In terms of facts and figures, currently I would say we shoot over 20,000 alumni and close to 20% are international students. Mostly they are from Europe still because of the vicinity. But we have a good mixture from the Americas, Africas, and Asia as well. Now, in terms of the rankings, we are in the World University rankings for top 500 young universities. And in terms of the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings, we are number one private university in Spain for the quality of education. We are among the 20 best universities in Spain and the top 4 private ones in the country. If you have students looking into medicine, dentistry, and nursing, we are top 10 nationally. Now, in terms of our campus and location, our main campus is the one that you see here looking like Hogwarts. It's our Murcia campus, just about close to 4 hours by train from Madrid. This is called the Hieronymus Monastery, which is an 18th century building, which we converted into our university grounds. It's just about 4 kilometers away from the Murcia city, so travel here is very convenient using bus or trams. And it's a large area with various facilities, which I will show you shortly. Our second campus in Cartagena, it's closer to the coastal area. Mainly Spanish programs are taught here. The only English program would be dentistry. And our third campus is in Madrid. It's open this year. Currently is mainly Spanish programs, but we're looking to also introduce English taught programs in the future. Just to give you an idea on our presence across the world, we currently have about 11 international offices, which further generates more internationalism here in our campus. If you've seen our video, you'll notice that we highlighted some sports. It's because we are also known as the University of Sports. We've been winners of Spain University Championships. We have some of the best athletes, and we run 21 federated teams. In fact, we are the only university that sent the largest number of Olympians and Paralympians to the Games. I know sports is probably a niche. A lot of, I would say, students in Asia, and very few students in Asia will look into sports. But so long you have any students interested in sports, you can consider UCAM. Okay, we have various sports facilities dedicated for their studies as well as for games. Something to highlight is also this one, UCAM International FC. So this gives an opportunity for students to study their bachelor's degree with us and at the same time represent a team in football, a chance to play in Spain. This is a unique opportunity for students who are very passionate to play football, or they're playing in a team right now and they just want to continue on in the future. This is a team that they can join. It's something additional on top of their program, which includes also accommodation, half boarding, transport, physiotherapy, and even nutritionists. Like I said, it is a very niche thing in Asia, but so long you have a student who is dedicated in sports, especially in football, this is a good option to consider. Right? Next, let's look at a glimpse of our facilities. We have the UCAM High Tech. This is a entrepreneurship and business incubator, especially in relation to health, sports, and nutrition. It's a place where students can pitch their ideas and get potential investors. We have way more other facilities dedicated to our students, depending on the course of study. Let's take dentistry, for example. We even have our own dental clinics in the cities. Now, in terms of studies, this is how we practice. Firstly, person to person, face to face. Our class sizes are relatively smaller than public institutions, and a personal tutor will be assigned for each student. We practice learning in action. In a way, we have guaranteed work experience for our students. These are just some of the companies that we work with. For example, Santander, PepsiCo, Adidas, Accor Hotels, or even the Olympic Committee. And last but not least, we're open and global. Students, especially in the bachelor's level, would have exchange program opportunities with over 400 universities around the world. Now, these are some of our bachelor's degree programs. This one specifically would be English taught. A bachelor's degree in Spain takes a minimum of 4 years for completion. We have only one intake a year, which would be in October. Some programs require 5 years. This applies for dentistry and veterinary medicine. Our intake for these two programs will be in September. For students taking our English taught courses, we include also some Spanish lessons to get them used to the language, because eventually, if they want to have more opportunities in their internships or even job search, it'll be great if they have the Spanish proficiency. Internship placements are usually in the final year of study. To further elaborate our programs, you can take a look here. Firstly, let's talk about business administration. Still, a majority of students studying abroad would choose to study business. So for ours, we are focused more into entrepreneurship training. So it's more heavy into economics, accounting, and finance. And as you can see here, our tuition fees are rather reasonable. It's about 7,000 plus euros per year. If you have students interested in sports, now I've traveled across different countries in Asia for the past years, and I see more students interested in sports management or being a sports educator. If you come across such students, this bachelor's degree in physical activity and sports sciences would be perfect for them. Next would be the dentistry. It is quite rare to find a dentistry program that is fully taught in English in Europe. So we have that based in Cartagena. It's one of our most popular programs, whereby they can get practical experiences in the first years of study itself. And since we have our own dental clinic, they could also have the practical experience there in their third year onwards. Next, we'll be talking about psychology. It's one of the top bachelor's degree in Europe. We have various simulation rooms on campus, and students can go into 3 different specializations, which is neuropsychology, education, or health intervention. We have also veterinary medicine. Now, this one in particular would be a bilingual mode. It means that students need to have also a B1 level in Spanish before starting. I would say this is a very hands-on program as well. We have some of the most innovative technologies in Europe for the simulated veterinary hospitals, and internships is not only with the veterinary clinics, but also with agro-food companies and farms. Lastly, we have the bachelor's degree in international relations. This one is fully taught in English. Perfect for students looking into a career in diplomacy, NGOs, or global corporations. Now, the last two programs I'm showing here would be a preparatory program. This is more for language. So for example, there are some students who wants to build their Spanish proficiency before they start their degree, so they can enter our Spanish preparatory program. But if you have students who are a little bit weaker in English, for example, they are currently just a A2 or B1 level, they can take our English preparatory program before starting their bachelor's degree. Next, let's look into the master degree programs that are English taught. These are just for 1 year. So it's very attractive for students in Asia. Let's further look into the individual programs. Now, the first four here that you see are some of the more popular ones. Of course, the MBA is just shy of 10,000 euros for the 1 year program, and is recognized as the top 10 MBA program in Spain. Here we'll have a specialization in financial management and business organization. Next would be hospitality management. This is quite interesting because the first 5 months, students will study with us, and then they get up to 6 months of international internships. So it's way more hands-on compared to the other master's programs. Perfect for students who are already in the hospitality industry or wants to pivot into it. If you have students that are more into the planning side of things, into tourism, we have these two programs. The first one being innovation and tourism marketing. This is more into the marketing sector. How do you improve your marketing strategies within the tourism sector? And the other one is more into the policy making. So you can see all four here are less than 10,000 euros for the 1 year program. The next three you can see here, the first would be marketing and communications. There are some students who particularly want to go into the marketing side of business, and this will be great for them, where we focus into digital marketing and new communication media. If you have students who are more into NGOs, human rights, we have the Masters in European Union Studies and Human Rights. The third one here would be bilingual education, where we focus into content and language integrated learning. It's like a sister program to TESOL. The idea here is for students to be able to develop curriculum in 2 different languages. For example, they can be delivering a topic about business and be talking about it in the local language plus in English, making it a bilingual education. This is our most affordable master's program taught in English at only 5,350 euros. Now, the next set here is dedicated to sports. The first two here, it's a similar program, Management of Sport Entities with MBA. This one is slightly over 10,000 euros. But the thing is, it includes also a trip to Abu Dhabi and Dubai. This is more for students who wants to go into the business management of sports. But if there are students who wants to know how to improve an athlete's performance through strength and conditioning, then we have the Masters in High Performance Sports. This is one of the few programs that are recognized by the National Strength and Conditioning Association in the world. Of course, we have many other programs, but currently they are all taught in Spanish. Now, in terms of entry requirements, for the bachelor's degree, we are looking at a minimum of 65% overall in their grade 12 examinations. That means like they take A-levels, IB diploma, or equivalent. For dentistry specifically, it's a higher level at 75%, including math, physics, biology, and chemistry, taught within the last 3 years of studies. For master's degree entry, we are typically looking at a CGPA of 3 out of 4. And for high performance sport, specifically, we need bachelor's in sports science for entry. Apart from grades, we will also look into motivation letter and CV. Okay, so if you have students who are maybe borderline or slightly fall short, you could also still send the documents to Yes Education for review along with their CV and motivation letter. In terms of the language requirements, for students coming for English top programs, we are looking at a B2 level or equivalent. That means IELTS 5.5, TOEFL 72, or even Duolingo a score of 100 and above. But if your students were studying in a high school or bachelor's that was taught in English, we just need the medium of instruction letter, okay? And that would suffice. For Spanish top programs, we need a B2 level as well in DELE or CLA. Or students can join our Spanish preparatory program first before going into the main program. Here's an overview of our admissions process. If you have students who are interested in our programs, these are the documents that we'll look for. Firstly, the passport bio page. Next, the academic transcripts. If they want to go into our bachelor's, we look at the last 3 years of high school, meaning grade 10, 11, and 12. If they're coming for our master's program, we will look only at the bachelor's, so the bachelor's transcript. Okay, their diploma certificate, if they have it. Next is the language proficiency, either an English certificate or the medium of instruction letter. The motivation letter, as well as the CV. Once we determine that the student is able to apply for the program, we will conduct a personal interview. This is mainly to know more about the student, ensure they have the language proficiency, and ensure that there is a right program match. Applications would incur 150 euros. And if they are eligible, they applied, they will receive a conditional offer letter within about 2 weeks of full documents submission. Usually they will need to pay 1,000 euros as a deposit for their placement. Okay? Everything will be stated in their conditional offer. Next, they would have to legalize their documents and apply for a visa. Once the visa is approved, they will pay the balance of the tuition fees of the first year. When they are in Spain, they will then present their original documents to the admissions for verification. So not to worry, in case you have such students, we will guide you step by step. Next, talking about living in Murcia, I touched this a little bit previously. Just to emphasize, it's a student city, so cost of living here is way more affordable. It's 600 to 800 euros a month. If you're going to, let's say, Madrid or Barcelona, it's easily double or triple this amount. And in terms of housing, we don't have on-campus dormitories, but we are in collaboration with Spain Student Housing. They have various options that are like 10 to 15 minutes walk away from the campus or are placed in the city. It depends on the student's preference and budget. Now, all in all, to show you how much it costs to study and live in Murcia, Spain, we have this sort of like a table breakdown. Let's say, for example, English taught bachelor's degree, a BBA. All in, it will be about 16,000 euros. If you convert it into other currencies, in US dollars, it's about $18,500. Pounds will be 13,000. Aussie dollars is 29,000, and Canadian dollars 25,000. So mostly with less than or about 20,000 US dollars a year, the student can study with us. Of course, the more pricey one here would be dentistry, but still, among different dentistry programs across the world, this is something that is considered quite affordable too. So overall, it would be at least 45% more affordable compared to other study destinations that we are more familiar with. Right, so that would be my presentation about Spain and about UCAM with our programs. I hope this gives you an idea of considering promoting Spain and UCAM to your students who have a right program match and also budget match. Feel free to let us know if you have any questions as we open up the floor now for Q&A.
Thank you, Michelle. We already have some question here in the
Okay.
Q&A box. The first one. In terms of master's degree programs, does it only require for international students with the same background for their bachelor's degree program before even though they have a work experience which relates to the master's degree programs?
Okay, great question. So for our master's program, only the high performance sports require a student to have a bachelor's degree in sports science. That's the only prerequisite. For the rest, for example, if the student graduated from engineering and wants to go into MBA, no problem. So if they don't have the exact same program for the bachelor's degree, they could still apply for the master's program.
Okay, so they just need to demonstrate in their personal statement, right?
Yes, correct. So it's like sharing, okay, why the student want to change into this program, what motivates them, and why study at UCAM Spain.
All right. Next question. For the entry requirements, does it also require the SAT or ACT for national curriculum students such as Indonesia? And could you please share the minimum requirements for IB diploma in details?
Okay, perfect. So just to share for our entry, now this is referring to bachelor's degree entry. For IB, we are looking at about a score of 30 and above. But like I said, if a student has slightly less than 30, we still will look at their CV and motivation letter. The one that we are a little bit more strict would be dentistry or even veterinary medicine. Um, for SAT, GED, these two are unfortunately not recognized as an entry into our bachelor's degree. So if let's say the student is from Indonesia, completion of the SMA is good enough. So they have the high school diploma as well as the last 3 years of transcripts.
So direct entry into year one for graduated from SMA?
Yeah, because it's
Okay, perfect.
equivalent to the grade 12, correct? So we just
Perfect.
need them to complete it, have the diploma from high school, and
Yeah.
their last 3 years of transcripts.
All right. Next question. If the students have the same education background in their bachelor's degree program, should they attach their syllabus in details regarding for the entry requirements?
Not necessary. The time that we require to look specifically into the curriculum is if the student wants to come in as a transfer student. Now, take for example, a student is studying year 2 of Bachelor's of Business Administration elsewhere, maybe in Indonesia. And then they want to come in as a transfer to do a credit transfer. In that case, then yes, we need to look at their curriculum specifically, like their course syllabus. But if they're coming in for their master's degree, we just need the bachelor's degree transcripts and certificate.
Okay, so credit transfer is very flexible, or is it like year two or year three, Michelle?
So usually I would recommend for students to have at least 2 years of study before they transfer, because
Mm-hmm.
in order to be considered a transfer student, we need at least 30 credits to be recognized. So
Okay.
we have a web page dedicated for credit recognition. So students can submit their documents and the faculty will let them know how many credits are transferable.
Okay, perfect. Next question. For the visa application, does the student statement or statement of purpose also need to be translated to Spanish along with the other documents?
Okay, so we can accept documents that are in English or in Spanish. So if students are coming in for our bachelor's degree that are taught in English, of course, the motivation letter can be in English, not necessarily into Spanish. But if they want to go into our Spanish top programs, for example, you have students who somehow have a B2 level in Spanish, then yes, their motivation letter, CV, everything should be in Spanish. For
All
bachelor's
right.
degree,
So,
particularly though,
mm,
just to highlight, if let's say your transcripts are in the local language, for example, Bahasa Indonesia, you can translate it into English or better would be into Spanish. Why? It's because for bachelor's degree, they eventually need to do something called homologation, which is a recognition of studies in Spain. That process would require the documents to be in Spanish.
okay. Michelle, for the visa application, the students need to go to embassy or is it just online application?
Students will need to submit it in the embassy.
Embassy. All countries in Southeast Asia, right?
Some countries has BLS, for example, in Philippines, for example, in Thailand. BLS is like the processing center
Mm-hmm.
for visas to Spain. So they can go to the web page, make an appointment, and do the submission physically.
All right. Thanks, Michelle.
Most welcome.
Next question. Sorry, I was a bit late to join. Do you have any medicine program available and is it taught in English or only dentistry and fats?
Yes, that's correct. So we do have medicine, but it's a 6 years program taught entirely in Spanish. And to enter, this is our only program that requires an entrance test. So it's quite challenging to take up our medicine program for students who don't have the Spanish proficiency.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Oh, is it legal for the students to get part-time job during their study at UCAM?
Yes, so while they are studying an official program with us, they can work part-time up to 30 hours a week. So I'm just gonna back up to that point. There you go. So yes, if they're studying officially with us, then they can get a part-time work up to 30 hours a week. But I'd like to highlight they will have more opportunities if they have a Spanish proficiency, because ultimately they are in Spain. If they want to get more job opportunities, it's good for them to have the Spanish proficiency.
All right. Next question. Do you give payment plans for master's degree? I think it's installment plans.
Well, ultimately, all students will need to pay full before they start. So how it works, if we have rolling admissions. So for example, right now we already have students applying for our November 2026 intake. They start with the application fee and then they make a deposit to secure their seat. Between that time until the intake, they can pay in installments per se. But ultimately, before they start, they should have a full payment with us.
All right. May I know, Michelle, how much the application fee cost?
The application fee is 150 euros. It's same for both bachelor's and for master's.
All right. Are you offering like PhD programs, Michelle, for international students?
Yes, we do have PhD programs. We have two intakes, one in April and one in October. It's quite different. They need to take a look and see if they have lines of investigation that
Mhm.
matches their course of interest. So PhD, I would say, is a separate process. It doesn't exactly go through the same process as for bachelor's and master's. I usually recommend students to take a look at our webpage to see what kind of researchers topic are being highlighted. See if it matches with theirs or if it's something that they want to pursue, then only make the application.
Okay, noted. All right. Someone is raising his hand. I'll allow him to talk.
Sure.
Hi, Pat. Do you have any question? All right. I think we can just continue with the Q&A box.
Okay.
Okay. Um, then next one, is it possible to hold the deposit payment first until the visa is granted? I think it's not permissionable.
Ah, so I think for us it's quite reasonable. Our deposit payment is only 1,000 euros of the tuition fee. That's deductible from the tuition fee. Then only you apply for a visa. After your visa approval, then you pay the balance. In the case,
Okay.
I know the next question usually, oh, what if my visa is refused? What should I do? Now, fees are refundable. The only one that are not refundable would be the application fee and the enrollment fee. Okay, these are like
Mm,
the administrative fees. But for the deposit of 1,000, that would be refundable should the visa be rejected. But it has to be like a valid reason, because usually for visa, what we recommend is that um, students should have 10,000 euros to be shown as the proof of funds for living cost. The actual usage would probably be lesser than that, but having the 10,000 euros as a show money would be good to help them with the visa approval process. So they
okay.
should have sufficient funds. If they are funded by someone else, we usually recommend it to be either the parents or siblings. And they definitely need to show the proof of relationship and how much funding is dedicated for the student.
All right. Any available scholarships, Michelle, for Southeast Asian students?
Well, we do have scholarships, but it's quite limited and only up to 10% of the first year fees. It's not a lot, but if you compare our fees to other private institutions in Spain,
Mhm.
it's one of the most affordable one already.
Yeah. So that would be only for the first year?
Yes, only for the first year. So, except for dentistry. Dentistry, we don't have any scholarships. And to share, currently there is a waiting list for next
Yeah,
year. So
makes
it's a
sense.
super popular program. But for the rest, yes, we have the first year up to 10%. So how does the first year work? So for masters, it's for the entire tuition fee already because it's only 1 year. For
Yeah.
bachelor's, it's only for the first year. But if let's say a student wants to study language with us first, for example, a
Mm,
Spanish preparatory program, and then into the degree. So the up to 10% will only be applicable for the Spanish prep.
okay. All right. We'll go to the next question. How much is the minimum bank statement for visa requirement?
Okay. Minimum bank statement. So let's say you're coming for an MBA, you pay 1,000 deposit, you have another balance of close to 9,000. So you need to have that 9,000 plus recommended 10,000 euros for show money. So estimately about 19,000 or 20,000 euros to be shown in your bank statements.
Okay, reasonable amount.
Very, I mean, if you're
Yeah.
going to Australia, for example, or the UK, you know how much you need to show.
Okay. Next question. Will the student get post-study work visa? I think they will get to
Yes, so this
two
is
years.
optional
Yeah.
for students. Yes, it's optional for students to apply for it. So if students want to apply for it, they should apply for it at least 60 days before their TIE expires, and it would be up to a maximum of 24 months only.
Okay, the next one. I would like to ask for Philippine students under master's programs. Is there any payment plan for tuition fee? Also, during their study period, how the students could do part-time job? Is there any application or residence visa they need to apply?
Okay, so for payment plan, it would be in a way installments, but all the way up to before the program starts. Ultimately, all students pay full fees before they start the program. For masters, yes, the full fees. For bachelors, the full first year fees. During their study period, how the student could do part-time job. So they could apply for a part-time job. They should be endorsed by the employer. Residence visa. Now, this is something that they apply when they arrive in Spain. So just to share, student visa is basically to allow a student to step into Spain. Once they arrive, they have to apply for something called the foreigner identity card. That's their identity in
Mhm.
Spain. So when they apply for a master's, it will be a period of 1 year, following the acceptance letter that they have. If they apply for a bachelor's, it will cover the full 4 years or 5 years, depending on the program that they take. This one,
Okay,
we have a
Michelle.
student care team on campus to sort of like guide them through the process.
Yeah, Michelle, I think we're all still new for study in Spain. And
Mhm.
based on the students' experience, which kind of part-time job they will get while they're studying at UCAM?
If they have good English proficiency, some of our students actually become English tutors for kids. So that's
Mm-hmm.
an interesting part-time job to do. If they have some Spanish proficiency, they could do a little bit more frontline ones. For example, in restaurants or in hotels. Um, some of our students, they render their services online. So it
Mm-hmm.
really depends on the student's talent, I would say. Yeah, but averagely right now, the hourly rate is like about 7 or 8 euros an hour for the pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any opportunities to work inside of the campus?
We do open up calls for it. It depends on whether the student wants to apply for it. Yeah.
Okay. Next
So,
question, getting the documents to be translated. Is it possible for the agents to translate the documents or must be translated by sworn translators?
for submission of, let's say for masters, having an English translation is good enough. But let's say if it's a bachelor's degree, it's best that they have a sworn translator because that's the homologation process that they need to go through.
All right.
So in two ways, students can either have it translated into English first,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go through the admissions process. And when, for example, they are in Spain, they want to get a translator because sometimes it's just cheaper that way to get the
Yeah.
sworn translator in Spain. They just translate the English documents to Spanish.
Okay. Next question, how the student will apply for job search residence visa after their MBA program?
We have a student care team on campus. They have already developed a guide for the students, so the students can follow the guide accordingly.
All right. Uh, we have so many questions today,
Oh,
Michelle.
it's good. I mean, it's good that you guys have questions. It
Yeah,
means that, it's something new for you guys. I definitely understand. But at the same time, I do see a
yeah,
good potential of students looking into Europe, and Spain could be a good option for them.
yeah. All right, next question. For PhD programs, once the students get the invitation letter from the supervisor, can the agent assist their application to the university or had different process for those programs?
Right. There's two ways. Either the student get an invitation letter or the student
Mm-hmm.
will just need to apply directly in the portal and wait for the results because they ultimately need to see if we have a suitable supervisor for the program. So in any case, If you have students for PhD, please do go through Yes Education, submit the documents so that we are aware that the student is being
Yeah.
assisted. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Regarding to PR application, is there a chance a Filipino student could apply for it after student visa and temporary residence visa application?
Yes, so for Filipinos, the benefit you guys have is a little bit of express lane. If you are after studying, you manage to find a job and you stay on at least 2 years, then you can start applying for that.
Okay, that's it for now. Oh, I think you still have so many questions, but we have limited time. So after this, you can contact me or your dedicated ES education team members in your region, and I think I will assist connect you to Michelle. Or Michelle, are you open if they have any potential students for the counseling?
Definitely, because as part of the admissions process, we usually have an interview. The interview is with me, so
Mm,
having that consultation process just facilitates the application journey.
yeah.
So feel free if you have a student potential, you need more assistance to convince them. Feel free to schedule a time with Jazzy. We'll arrange. I have like a booking calendar, so you guys can
Mhm.
easily book the time.
Sure, sure. All right. Thank you, Michelle, for your time. Do you mind to send your presentation after this to me so I can extend to
Yeah,
send it to the agents?
sure. So I have a general deck, which is a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
in depth that helps you
Yeah.
guys to also explain to students. So I'll send you that.
Okay. All right then. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you everyone for joining this session. Yeah, I'm so happy that studying Spain is quite so many agents interested in studying Spain.
I'm
So
happy
I
as
think
well.
we can arrange another session if you need another session with your students.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right then. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Jazzy.
all.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Have a
Have a
great
great
day.
day.
Bye.
Bye.